What's the exact moment you realized you were completely wrong about the person you sleep next to? I honestly almost dumped my boyfriend of 2 years last month. His name is Hayes, and he's a great guy to me, but he's basically a brick wall when it comes to my 8-year-old son, Beckett. Beckett has severe ADHD. He's loud, he bounces off the walls, and he talks a mile a minute about Minecraft. Hayes is a quiet guy. He works construction. Whenever Beckett showed him a drawing or a Lego build, Hayes would just nod and say, "Cool, man." No high fives, no goofy dad voice. It was starting to eat at me. I didn't want to build a life with a guy who was just counting down the minutes until my kid went to bed. The tipping point was Beckett's school science fair. Beckett spent 3 weeks building this incredibly messy baking soda volcano. The morning of the fair, I asked Hayes if he was taking off work early to come. He just drank his coffee, looked at the clock, and told me he couldn't get out of his afternoon shift. I was so mad I was shaking. I went to the elementary school alone, sitting in the crowded cafeteria, literally drafting a breakup text in my head. Beckett was at his little folding table. He was so nervous he was aggressively picking at his fingernails. Some older 5th graders walked by and pointed at how lopsided his volcano was. My chest dropped. I stood up to go get him and just leave. Then the heavy cafeteria doors pushed open. Hayes walked in. He was still in his work boots, his jeans covered in white drywall dust. He completely ignored the PTA moms staring at him and walked straight up to Beckett's table. He didn't make a big loud scene. He just crouched down to be at eye level with Beckett, pulled a tiny realistic plastic dinosaur out of his pocket, and silently set it right on the edge of the volcano. Beckett's face completely changed. He stopped picking his nails. He poured the vinegar in, and the thing erupted perfectly all over the dinosaur. Later that night in the kitchen, I finally confronted him. I asked Hayes why he acted so cold and distant at home if he actually cared enough to ditch work. He looked at me like I was insane. He pulled his phone out of his pocket, unlocked it, opened his notes app, and handed it to me. It was a list, hundreds of lines long. Beckett hates the seam on his left sock. Don't say calm down when he's frustrated. Just sit on the floor. Volume level 4 in the truck is his max before he gets a headache. Hayes wasn't being cold. He just knew Beckett got overstimulated by loud noises and big, unpredictable energy. He had been intentionally keeping his voice low and his movements completely predictable for 2 whole years, just so my son would feel calm in his own house. I stood there looking at this guy covered in dust, holding a phone full of my son's triggers. I deleted the breakup text. I'm marrying him in October.